Did you know that 90% of people who try to overcome an addiction alone fail within the first few weeks? And did you know that the human brain can take up to 2 years to return to normal after addiction? Breaking free from addiction isn't just hard. It's a battle against your biology, your past, your emotions, and sometimes even your environment. But there exists a powerful approach that blends Eastern philosophy with modern behavioral neuroscience, a path not just to quitting, but to rebirth. Today, you're going to learn that path. Before we begin, remember, this video is not a substitute for professional help. If you're struggling, please seek support. You don't have to walk this journey alone. This video was inspired by a subscriber who asked for a deeper breakdown on overcoming addiction, especially drug addiction. And so today, we go far beyond just say no. This is not a story about willpower. It's a story about being broken and being reborn. In Japan, there is a word for this transformation, Kishi Kaisei, to rise from the dead and return to life. When we combine Kishi Kaisei with Kaizen, Ikigai, and modern neuroscience, we reveal a roadmap capable of helping anyone rebuild their life from the ground up. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Amelia's Falling. Amelia was 23 when everything collapsed. Bright, talented, ambitious. The kind of girl people says, destined for great things. She wanted to study architecture, marry, start a family, a simple, meaningful life. But Amelia carried invisible cracks. At 14, she began collecting traumas she never healed. An alcoholic father, a mother too exhausted to notice the silent battles inside her daughter, a constant sense of emptiness. At 19, someone in college offered her something to help with the stress. That's how it begins for many. Recreational's weekly use, daily dependence. And deep down, Amelia knew. She saw her grades fall. She saw her friends distance themselves. She saw her mother cry, asking, "What happened to you?" But here's what most people don't understand. Addiction is not a choice. It's a hijacking. Let me show you what was happening inside Amelia's brain. Chapter 2. The Brain Hijack. Neuroscience explained simply. Inside every human is a powerful biological machine called the reward system. A circuit that releases dopamine whenever you do something that helps you survive. Eating, sleeping, social connection, relationships. But drugs don't give you normal dopamine. They hijack the system. Cocaine, for example, delivers 10 times more dopamine than natural pleasure. The brain sees this massive spike and says, something is wrong. Reduce receptors, shut down natural dopamine. So the person needs more and more and more just to feel normal. And when they don't use, panic, agitation, physical pain, depression, withdrawal. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for discipline and decision-making, begins to weaken. So people know they're destroying themselves, but can't stop. Not because they don't want to, but because their neurological brakes are gone. That was Amelia. Until one Tuesday morning she looked in the mirror and realized, either I get help or I'm going to die. She called a support center. They connected her with a therapist. His name was Dr. Kenji Yamamoto. Chapter 3. Dr. Kenji. Science meets Eastern wisdom. Dr. Kenji was no ordinary therapist. A 58-year-old Japanese-descended psychologist with a background in neuroscience and a deep connection to Eastern philosophy taught by his grandfather. He believed that true healing involves body, mind, soul. And unlike most therapists, he integrated principles like Kishi Kaisei, rebirth, Kaizen, 1% daily improvement, Ikigai, life purpose. When Amelia entered his office for the first time, shaking, exhausted, and hopeless, Kenji simply said, "Sit. Tell me your story. No judgment, no hurry." She talked for 2 hours. Childhood pain, loneliness, the emptiness drugs temporarily numbed. When she finished, Kenji said, "Amelia, what you're fighting is not weakness. It is not a lack of character. It is a complex medical condition. And yes, it can be overcome, but not with willpower alone." Then he wrote 2 words on the board. Kishi Kaisei, rebirth. You won't just stop using, Amelia. You will become someone else. The addicted version of you will die, and the real you will be reborn. Chapter 4. The Plan. Kishi Kaisei plus Kaizen plus Ikigai. In the next session, Kenji brought a simple diagram of 3 overlapping circles. This is how we rebuild you, he said. 1. Kishi Kaisei, rebirth. Accept that the old version of you must die, not as a loss, but as transformation. 2. Kaizen, 1% improvement daily. Not perfection, progress, small wins repeated daily. Ikigai, your reason for living. Without purpose, the brain seeks artificial pleasure. With purpose, the brain rewires itself. And weaving through all of this, faith and spiritual grounding, the dimension that fills the deepest human void. Chapter 5. Amelia's Rebuild. The first 30 days were hell. Detox, tremors, insomnia, crippling anxiety. But Kenji was there every week. He taught her cognitive behavioral therapy, surfing the wave of cravings, mindfulness, emotional observation. He connected her to a support group. She began attending church meetings. She began praying desperate at first, then sincerely. And slowly, she felt something she hadn't in years. She wasn't alone. Kaizen in action every day. Kenji gave her 3 micro-tasks. 1 for the body, walk 20 minutes. 1 for the mind, read 5 pages. 1 for the soul, pray or journal for 5 minutes. And day after day, 0.1% at a time, Amelia began to rebuild. Relapse. At week 8, Amelia relapsed. She was crushed. But Kenji told her something that saved her. Relapse is not failure. It is part of the process. The goal is not to never fall. It is to rise more times than you fall. That is Kishi Kaisei. Ikigai appears months later. During a church construction project, Amelia found herself sketching designs again. Architecture, her passion, her dream, her identity. She re-enrolled in college. She got a part-time job at an architecture firm. She rebuilt her life step by step. A year and a half later, she was unrecognizable. New career, new purpose, new community, new life. She even found love, Daniel, a history professor with his own scars. 2 years later, they married. At her final session, Amelia cried, "I was dead, and you helped me come back to life." Kenji shook his head. "No, Amelia, I only showed you the path. You walked it. You died, and you were reborn." Chapter 6. The Science Behind Recovery. Modern research confirms everything Amelia experienced. Neuroplasticity. The brain rewires itself after 90 days to 2 years. Cognitive behavioral therapy. Observing cravings reduces their power. Mindfulness strengthens the prefrontal cortex. Ikigai, purpose, reduces relapse rates dramatically. Spirituality and community support, correlated with more stable long-term recovery. Recovery isn't magic. It is science plus strategy, plus philosophy, plus support. And the truth is this: most people don't overcome addiction by quitting. They overcome it by becoming someone who no longer needs the addiction. You do not defeat darkness by fighting it. You defeat darkness by turning on a light. Chapter 7. The 12 Steps of Rebirth, presented clearly and practically. 1. Find your Ikigai, your reason to wake up. 2. Apply Kaizen, 1% daily improvement. 3. Use neuroscience tools. Surf the wave, mindfulness 10-minute rule. 4. Engineer your environment. Your environment beats willpower. 5. Prioritize sleep. 7-9 hours, non-negotiable. 6. Exercise daily, even 10 minutes. 7. Eat for brain recovery. Protein, omega-3, greens, hydration. 8. Emotional regulation. Breathing, journaling, meditation. 9. Build a support network. Therapist, group, trusted people. 10. Spiritual dimension, meaning beyond yourself. 11. Relapse protocol. Acknowledge, analyze, get back on track. 12. Track progress. 90 days rewiring. 6 months transformation. 1-2 years rebirth. Chapter 8. the 90-day protocol. Days 1-7, survival, detox, sleep, hydration, support. Days 8-30, stabilization, routine, light exercise, meetings. Days 31-90, reconstruction, micro habits, purpose, spirituality, environment shift. Addiction is one of the hardest battles a human can fight, but it is also one of the most transformative. You're not just saving your life, you're building the life you were meant to live. Millions have already done it. You can too. Not someday, not when you feel ready, not Monday. Now, rise up, be reborn, live